And now we will switch to the next part of our day. Dmitry Raspereza will tell you about the patient, which is planned to be demonstrated today. Good day, esteemed colleagues. So our first patient, it's again this patient who we had yesterday. That's a patient, a man of 54 years of age. I would like to remind once again, since August this year, he had a first episode of acute pancreatitis. He was treated treated in inpatient mode with positive result. Ultrasound showed the pancreatic mass of cystic type. That's his labs in October this year, so moderate amylase elevation. CT shows suspicious. CT is suspicious for the cystic mass in the pancreatic body, but expert conclusion of our colleagues yesterday shows that the cysts increase in size, and there are cysts not only in the body but also in the tail. Also, there were ultrasound signs of chronic pancreatitis. They diagnosed typical content of the pseudocyst, which was of a, so to say, chocolate type. And our colleagues today, they will do therapeutic intervention. It is planned to do endoscopic cystogastrostomy with a triple visual control. It's endoscopy, fluoroscopy, and endosonography. Our aim to show the capacities of the endoscopic drainage technique. Any questions about the patient? That's again, we saw this patient, so we're ready to switch to the surgery. Michael, you're online. Good day, esteemed colleagues.
Good morning, Lark.
Today we're talking about the interdisciplinary approach, and I would like to show you, so to say, the continuity. So yesterday we had a patient when we diagnosed development of chronic pancreatitis and formation of the large big cyst from the smaller ones. And today we want to show which of intervention, which of minimal invasive treatment could be offered. So we said there are ways, minimal invasive ways to drain those cysts. And this patient is ideal to demonstrate the technique and its capacities of an optimal low-invasive treatment.
With a 19-gauge needle or cystocom? No, let's go with the needle first.
So we'll start with a FNA needle. The only difference is that we use not 22G, but the larger needle, 19G. It's done because through the channel, needle channel, we need to move in the tool, we need to move the instrument, in particular the guide wire. We'd like to move it through the needle.
The pseudocyst with a 19-gauge needle. I'm not familiar with this needle, but it's okay. So let's see if it's out of the scope. No. So what you have to, okay.
Вот, это такое то, что относится к tips and tricks.
That's what's related to tips and trick. It's very important to see the tips, the tip of the needle. So you should see it within the scope. Not to damage the endoscope. It's one of the, so to say, tips and tricks advice. Then on the screen we see the cyst and the distal tip of the needle.
И теперь мы включим.
Take out the stylet. No, the stylet out. We don't need the X-ray.
Дайте мне, пожалуйста, салфеточку.
So now we're going to advance a guide wire. I think we're going to put one stent.
После того, как
after we advance the needle into the cyst, then through the needle channel, we will we'll move the guide wires through the needle to the needle channel. And let's switch. Can we have two images, please? I mean, ultrasound and X-rays, because it's a very important issue.
So the guide wire is coming out, I think now. Well, this is still. This is the guide wire. Okay, so make a turn. Okay.
И вы видите, как на рентгенологическом изображении.
And you can see as an X-rays, you see it twists the guide wire.
Вот, и тут очень важно взаимодействие между оператором.
It's very important to have a good interaction of the operator and assistant. The movements should be all smooth and delicate, so the guide wire is remained sitting in the cyst cavity.
Кисты.
And should it now I'm removing the needle from the instrument from the channel, and we'll leave the guide wire there.
The cystotome to, you see the cavity is already smaller. So you can see the guide wire also through with the EOS view. So we're gonna now advance the cystotome through the guide wire to enlarge the fistulous tract.
Alberto, this is only.
It doesn't go through the the guide wire.
Yes. I think that we created fistulas by using cystotome.
So we need to go. So I have to take out the guide wire.
Yes, I understand. Maybe we try to use a balloon.
We can try, but I guess we're not going to go through with the balloon. We can try, but or we can use a dilator from ERCP. So this is the only.
Just a moment.
Because if you take out probably the middle part.
Yes. We use it like a bush.
Yes, but I don't know if we are going to be able to go through. But if you leave it and you just take out the middle part, that one is the only one with the current. Do you have the endoflex? Maybe no. Okay. So we're going to try to increase the opening of the tract using the cystotome without current. Or otherwise we will start again and we will do the puncture directly with the cystotome. Somebody needs to keep the scope. No, not you. Somebody else.
Встаньте просто с головы. right side.
Okay. Yeah, but be careful that you lose the guide wire.
Yes. Нужно держать просто.
Just advance the guide wire. Advance the guide wire. Okay. Okay. So we do another exchange and we try to do the balloon.
Yes.
To see if we. Okay. If we can dilate the tract.
Когда Альберт попросит, просто подержите эндоскоп в этом.
When Albert asks, please hold the scope in that position.
Okay.
Вот, мы последовательно выполняем серию манипуляций. Первый – это осуществляем доступ в просвет кисты. Далее с помощью бужа дилататора мы выполнили расширение фистулы. И следующий этап мы берем, используем баллон.
And as the next stage, so we expanded the fistula, going step by step way, and so we entered the cyst, then we use the dilator to expand the fistula, and then we'll get through the and then we'll cystotome to get into the cyst.
In view also with the US view.
Да, вот это то, что вчера говорил Альберт.
That's what Alberto said yesterday. In some cases only endoscopic and fluoroscopic control is enough.
I think we need to dilate a little bit more. Otherwise, the balloon is not going to go through. So, or we start again and we do with the cystotome directly, because like this I don't think, or we can like a bougie, like a ERCP dilator.
Maybe we.
Be careful that we lose the.
У нас есть, может быть, буш более.
Maybe have a larger bush, larger dilator for RCP. Large diameter. Please show me which sizes you have in stock. 5, 7, 10.
Seven French. Okay. Okay. So we can try this one.
Yes.
So we are trying to dilate the tract to allow for the placement of the stent.
Михаил Сергеевич, наши слушатели.
Michael, please could you show endoscopic picture, but looks like we can see nothing. Could you please comment on the endoscopy, because it looks like you near the mucosa, so we do not see actually anything on endoscopy. Could you comment on what you have on endoscopy? Well, at the moment, we are not interested in showing the endoscopic picture, because mostly what we need to see it's ultrasound and fluoroscopy. So nearby the wall, and so we can see nothing. That's right. Yes, you're right. Well, to create the to have the ultrasound pattern, where you have to be next to the wall, you have to be close to the wall. It's
lose this position, we can see the window, ultrasound window.
So this was perfect for the stent I showed you yesterday, because the cystotome is already incorporated in the system, and okay. So you can access directly with the device that you use to place the stent. So it's a very, very nice, and you can release the stent in a couple of minutes, 1 minute.
One of the major idea of Alberta that we need dedicated devices.
Yes.
And it can improve.
Let me see.
The situation and save our time. We are inside, it seems to me.
Yes. Okay. Okay, we pass through. Okay. So this is 7 French, right?
Yes, this is. И как вы видите на рентгенологическом экране, да.
And as you see on X-rays.
Yeah. Okay. So we can re-exchange and try to go back with the balloon.
Balloon. Yeah.
Because this is 7 French, right?
Yes.
So we cannot place the stent.
Yes.
Or you want to try the stent directly?
Let's try balloon dilation to show the technique.
Okay. So now we exchange.
Это вот достаточно тонкая вещь.
That's quite a delicate thing when you go outside. When you go outside the GI, when you go through the GI wall, that's an issue to create the fistula. If you use X-lumina on the axial stent, everything is within one tool, within one instrument. You have everything necessary for electrosurgical fistula formation for opening the stent.
Another case.
Вот, и, соответственно, Альберто, он очень быстрый итальянский.
Alberti is a very rapid Italian stud, and he likes to do everything good and fast. He likes doing things good and fast. So what we're doing right now, we're changing instruments one to another. That's one of the options. But it's about the situation. It's in line with what we usually have in our hospitals in Russia. It takes 15 to 30 minutes. You should enter the cyst, change the tools, put the stent delivering device. So it takes time.
How long does it take in your department? 2 or 3 minutes?
No, if you need to place plastic stents, is the same as here.
No, not.
But if you really place the X-lumina, it takes me really 2 minutes.
Albert, in this situation, which monitor do you choose? X-ray?
I use X-ray and usually the endoscopic view, because you can see now the balloon.
И теперь вот, если можно, переключить нас на.
Can we switch to endoscopy? So you could see the picture.
Приготовили буш следующий.
Okay. All right.
To have next diameter dilator.
Where is the balloon in terms of?
Yes, there are 2 marks.
2 marks. Okay, yes. Perfect. So and endoscopically. So it's nice to. Because you learn also to use other device where you are not used to use. Let me see.
Да, и вот сейчас.
And now Please switch to the fluoroscopy and ultrasound or endoscopy. This is what.
So I think it's out, or I have to bring it back a little bit.
A little bit back, I think.
Okay, I think now it's okay. Okay. So should I come back a little bit more or not? I don't see the marking.
A little bit back, I think.
Doesn't come back. So
I think it's enough.
now it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So try to inflate. The balloon is inflating.
И сейчас я начинаю медленно.
Now I'm starting to slowly increase the pressure in the balloon.
Все, работает, нет?
Is inflating. Huh? I think he needs to put a little bit down. Down the balloon.
Возьмите.
Take a syringe. You need to take a syringe to take out the. No, with that one. Okay. So this is the marker.
Yeah.
So without the cystotome, it's a little bit difficult to create the tract to work in a comfortable. Okay, so now I'm inside. So I think so. Here, okay. So you can dilate now. Let's look. Okay. So now we are dilating the tract, and soon we are gonna. Okay, so we can. Did you dilate to the maximum?
Yes.
Okay, so now we can take out the balloon.
Maybe a little bit.
No, it's okay.
Push, yes.
I think it's okay. We just need to place one stand. So disinflate the balloon.
Because I'm afraid we not the dilate not the whole.
Okay. So because okay, just which are the markers to know where the balloon? You see, this is the balloon. Okay. So this is the end.
Yes.
So there's no balloon here. Okay. So I think we dilate everything. It's okay. I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So now we have to take out the balloon.
Just
yes.
Deflate it.
Inflate a little bit more. It's coming out. So put a little bit of wire inside.
И вот мы уже сейчас видим, что.
So now we could see that of this fistula, the content of the cyst started to get out of the cyst. It's similar to what we saw during the surgery.
Color of the fluid is the same like we saw yesterday.
Yeah, one sec. Let's skip. Yeah, it's the same. So we prepare the stent with a pusher. Okay. Let's see where we can see the guide wire. Okay. So in this case, now the procedure become a really endoscopic procedure with fluoroscopy. So now we place the stent.
One stent.
One stent, yes. I would not, with not the proper equipment, I would not do more than one. Because I think the dilation is not enough to place two stents, and I think at this point it's better to accomplish one stent, and you see it's all fluid. So.
И водички. Для того,
What's that? This one? This is the pusher. Okay.
Pusher. Вот, для того, чтобы установить стенд.
In order to install the stent, we use a typical pusher, typical delivery device, which has an internal part and a pusher, which we move forward via the guide wire. Then that's got to be a very, so to say, routine.
Do you need the white part? I don't use the white part.
Okay.
Like the white part is wait. Like why do you need this white part for?
Stop, please. Okay. Just.
So if you place the stent, you just need a pusher.
Держите. Бел. Тянем.
You just need to place the stent over the guide wire.
Тянем.
Take it out.
Да.
Because this is too fluffy.
Yes.
We are still in a good position. Okay. So we're gonna place a double pigtail stent, 8 French. So what you can do, you can use a little bit of the, okay. We hope for the best. Yes. Okay.
И под двойным
And under double fluoroscopy and endoscopy control, we move the stent via the instrumental channel of the scope. The guide wire should stay in the cyst cavity, so it's very important not to lose it.
So I think now it's start coming. Okay.
We are here, yes. И вот сейчас мы опять же ориентируемся на...
And now we are looking at the X-rays and we're looking at the endoscopy. Now we're moving stent.
One side hole, it's another side hole.
The marker is we have to okay.
Yes, here is the marker.
So now you take out the guide wire. So it makes a nice. And now we're gonna release. Wait. Piano.
Вот, теперь аккуратно подтягиваем доску.
Now we're slowly moving the endoscope by pusher. We push the remainings of the from the endoscope.
This is why I don't like very long stents. Okay. So now we should aspirate. Okay, let me see. So we can see the other part of the stent. Here. Okay, so we'll go down one sec. And we see if we can aspirate. Why doesn't work the aspiration?
Alberto, is it necessary to aspirate fluid from the cyst after
No,
placement?
I want to aspirate the content of the stomach, so for the anesthesiologist is happy.
What about content of the cyst?
Of the cyst, no, because it's going to come out by itself.
By itself?
Yes. Okay, so we finish. Okay. So today we learn with new equipment. So sometimes it's difficult to work with what you are not used to work.
Yes.
But I think that this is I think for this case one stent is enough, and we will. I think what you can do, you can check then the stent. You know, there are some. If you can drain from the stomach, is better. But there's reports about transesophageal stenting, also of collection or abscesses. So I think in this case the stent was a G junction. So what you can do then later on, you can eventually try to push with a gastroscope the stent down into the stomach.
Should we try to find maybe better position?
I search for a better position, but you know the better position is the one where the scope is in the better position. So I don't. So that on US that one was the better position, and the collection was really close to the G junction. So
maybe another important rule: you should manipulate endoscope as free as you can.
Yes,
because it depends on the success of whole procedure.
Yes,
that means if you angulate from example like this, and it would be very difficult to manipulate, and it can damage the whole procedure.
Yes, but you know there's no problem to place a stent also transesophageally. So clearly for the patient it's a little bit more uncomfortable, but you know these stents probably needs to be removed probably in a month. I would do a CT, see that. If the collection is resolved, you know, we also today with the liquids, there's no really looks that it is not connected to the duct system. So I think when the collection is resolved, it can be taken out.
Do we need to opacify the cavity of this?
No.
For example, to examine the connection between the cyst and the pancreatic duct? And
no, because you have you have the fluid that is if there is a connection between the cyst and the pancreatic duct, the fluid is white.
That means the color of the
fluid tells you that a lot already. So the most important thing for a collection is to treat, symptomatic collection. Before there was a treatment based by dimension of the collection. So when was there was the 6 centimeter magic number. So above 6 centimeter you should treat. In reality, you should treat only the collection that causes symptoms. So in these patients, he had the recurrent pain and. I think there was a reason to treat this collection, but sometimes I also bigger collection I don't touch them. Or another reason to treat them that is still not really it's a little bit controversial is if you have compression of the vessels, so that the patient can develop thrombosis, and this is something that in the collection of the tail and the body of the pancreas it happens pretty frequently. So this is another reason to treat collection, but it is very important to treat only symptomatic collection, and this maybe there was a little bit of maybe of infection also.
If in nearest future there is a relapse of the cyst after the stent removing, what should we do? How many
you treat again.
Treat again.
At that point, you need to place a stent forever. So the recurrence, when it recurs, means that if it recurs in the same place, because sometimes it happens that you have people who drinks a lot, who comes with a collection, you drain them, you think it's solved, and then they come back with another collection in another part. So that one is not a recurrence; it's another collection. If it recurs in the same place after you take out the stents, you just need to leave the stents in place and not taken out.
What's about your personal experience? Do you have such kind of cases?
I usually take, in this case, I would check the collection in a month with a CT, and then take out the stent.
I mind about the relapse.
If it's relapse, you treat again. So
Do you have
I
such
would
kind of
not. Yeah.
experience?
Yes, there's not. It's not a big deal because at that point you just have to redo the procedure. In such a case, probably if you have a shorter stent, I think it's better. If you place a shorter stent, probably you are able to place also that goes into the stomach, and then you leave it forever. So it happened to me that sometimes I take out the stent, plastic stents, and the cyst comes back, and that is basically a proof that you need to leave the stent in place.
You know, Rob Holmes has written some paper where is about 70% of endosonographers who perform cystic drainage prefer to set plastic stents. When and where is the place? When and where is the time for metallic stent expandable stent?
I think it's still something not really. I think it's a personal opinion. There's really not that many studies out on metal stents. I think that metal stents can be useful when there is a lot of solid component inside the collection. First of all, because it allows you to have an opening. So there's a less risk for stent clog and infection and need for a procedure, and when you plan to do direct necrosectomy. So when you need to go inside the collection and clean it, I think to have a stent in place that allow you to go in and out, I think is actually more advantageous than having plastic stent, remove, dilate, go inside, replace the plastic stent. So I think it's for this reason. There's still not, there was a meta-analysis, I think it was, has been presented by Varadarayulu group in Vienna. And basically they said that there is no advantage of metals versus plastic. But I think for certain condition, like when there's another approach that is the multi-gateway approach, where you basically, for big collection with a lot of solid material, you make 2 or 3 holes. Then you make you place multiple plastic stents and nasocystic lavage. And I think that one can be really cumbersome, and probably if you can place 1 metal stent or 2 to make the lavage, I think in terms of cost also that you don't need to change the stent and go inside any time. It's basically the same. So the problem is a problem also of cost. So for a simple fluid collection, if you compare 100 euros of a stent versus 1,400 euros of another stent with the same results, I think you should use a plastic stent.
We have a question. Question from the audience. Is it possible? It's good. Dr. Deschamps would like to ask the question.
Thank you, Alberto. Very nice procedure. I've got one question. You were commenting upon the possibility of having a recurrency of the cyst in the same place. If this was the case, would you then look for stricture in the or leakage in the pancreatic duct via an ERP?
Yes, usually this is something you try to map before. So our patient with the pseudocyst usually have a MRCP done to try to see, if there's any reason in the ductal system for having the collection. I think, in this case, I don't think that it's going to come back if you take out the stent, because the fluid content is really not suggestive of a continuum with the pancreatic system, but you never know. I think if he would come back, I would also take a look of the system with an ERCP eventually.
Yeah, in my experience, when the cysts are larger, sometimes in MRI you don't see anything of the ductal system. How's your experience there?
Yes, I think if you don't use the secretin, sometimes you don't see anything, and I agree. When if it comes back, probably you need to make sure that there's nothing in the ductal system also. So I would do a ERCP.
Good.
I think we little bit need to hurry up. Can we finish your presentation and go to the next topic? Okay.
Finish the case, eh?
Yes.
The case is finished.
Yes, thank you
We
very
have
much.
to wake up the patient and see if it's fine.
Okay, thank you very much.